Hands are made for joy.
Cola presents Pure Clean, multifunction bidet seats. Enjoy hands-free hygiene for your everyday routine.
Hands are made for love.
You almost ran for
I was thinking
president.
about it.
You were thinking about it. And then you changed your mind. This is the 2012
No, I didn't change my mind.
election.
I decided not to do it.
Why is that?
Because I thought Mitt Romney would win, like a lot of other people. I thought that it was appropriate that he should win. Unfortunately, something happened to him in the last month that wasn't good. A lot of bad things happened to him. Maybe it was him. But that was an election that should have been won. I believe if I ran, I would have won. I'll consider it again. Everyone's saying, are you going to consider it? I'm looking. But I was very disappointed. The reason I didn't run is I truly love what I do. I thought he should have won. I thought the Republicans should have won. I would prefer doing what I'm doing. I'm doing buildings all over the world. I'm having a lot of fun. I have a great company. I have one of the great brands of the world. And I wasn't looking to run, but if I thought that he was going to lose, I would have, and I think I would have won. I think that the Democrats and President Obama at the time were meant to be beaten. Unfortunately, he lost. Obama's had a very, very tough period of time. He's done very poorly, and today he couldn't win for a dog catcher. He couldn't win for anything, but that's a different time. So we'll see what happens.
You're going to run the next election?
Well, we'll take a look. I mean, we're going to see what happens in November. We have a very important elections coming up, as you know, in
the congressional
November.
elections.
The senatorial, especially having to do with senatorial. And I think they'll take the Senate, they'll take the House, keep it and maybe get stronger, but they'll take the Senate, the Republicans. And then after that, some decisions are going to be made by myself and a lot of other people.
How do you assess the U.S. economy? Because you've been President Obama's harshest critic, or amongst his harshest critics.
Well, he's got a lot of harsh critics. How can you not be? How can you not be a critic? I mean, nothing's going well. The United States is a disaster. Their foreign policy is the worst it's ever been. The world is collapsing. Everything that we back goes down the tubes. So it's hard to be a big fan of what he's doing. He's bombing people and he's out playing golf. Hey, look, nobody likes golf more than I do, but you don't want a picture in the paper when you're bombing people and a picture of you walking down a fairway with a big smile on your face. It's not appropriate. It's not leadership. So, it's hard to be a fan. I'd love it if he would be a great president. Look, I'm a Republican. But if Obama were a great president, nobody would say so more than me. I'd love to have it because it would be good for the country. That's just not going to happen. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be an interesting period of time. But the first thing I want to see is November. I think the Republicans are going to do very well because of the unpopularity of Obamacare, which is a disaster, which is causing tremendous havoc for so many millions of people and businesses. So we'll see what happens.
You're not convinced by the signs of recovery in the U.S. economy?
Well, if you look at unemployment, it's a disaster. Don't forget, the numbers you're looking are phony numbers.
6.1,
excuse me, they take the people that gave up looking for jobs. How about those people? When you add them in, you probably have 20% unemployment. I mean, if you're looking for a job and you can't get it and you give up, you're no longer unemployed. Okay, what kind of a statistic is that? It's a phony statistic. So the real unemployment is very substantial in the United States. People feel it. Now, the stock market is, in my opinion, artificially high. I've been a beneficiary of it, but it's artificially high. A lot of it's based on other countries and the business that American companies and other companies are doing outside of the United States. But the stock market is high. A lot of our internet stuff is, you look at this, it's selling for billions of dollars and it's worthless. So I think there's something going to happen.
We've had some interesting. Twitter is worthless?
Well, I love Twitter. I'm one of the big people on Twitter. I have millions and millions of, as the expression goes, followers.
But from a valuation point of view, you're not convinced by where you see these stocks?
Well, I tell you one thing. You mentioned Twitter. I love Twitter. I love Facebook. I invested in Facebook when it hit the low, and I was very happy with Facebook as an investment. I sold Facebook. I just sold Facebook. And I invested in a lot of things. I sold a lot of things, frankly. I've never been a stock market person, but when the stocks were very low a number of years ago, I bought a lot of stock. And it's been very good, but that was only because I felt it was artificially low. Now I don't see it that way. I think that there are a lot of bad things happening in the world. I feel there are a lot of bad things happening in the world.
So you're saying the U.S. economy is not recovering? You're saying that the U.S. stock markets are at artificial high?
I think the stock markets are very high, but I look at the U.S. economy as doing this. Now, if interest rates go up, you can ask me a different question. One of the reasons that it's very flat line. Well, it's certainly not a rocket ship, that we know, but it's very flat line. But one of the reasons is that interest rates are extremely low.
They could go up starting next year.
If interest rates go up, that will have a negative impact.
So are you in favor of Fed policy not changing for the next several years?
I'm in favor of making the United States great again.
And how does that happen?
Right now, you can't. It's all about leadership.
And
it happens. You know how it happens? It happens. Forget about interest rates. Make the United States great again. Make America great again. It's all about leadership. Interest rates up, down, forget it. It's about leadership. We don't have leadership now. Everything the United States has been touching has been a disaster.
The housing sector has been leading the recovery, many economists say. Well, what do you make of the U.S. housing sector?
Well, I think the housing sector is good because interest rates are low.
Yes,
but they're historically low. But when you start raising interest rates, see what happens to the housing sector. I don't want to speak against myself. I mean, I'm in a very unique position where if it goes up, it goes down, it doesn't have any impact because we're very conservative. We have a lot of cash. We can do whatever we want. In fact, if it went down, I guess you'd say from an investment standpoint, I would like that because I could buy, okay? But the housing stocks and the housing companies and housing, which, by the way, had some very bad numbers a month ago, as you know, in all fairness.
That's right.
But housing is based largely on interest rates being so low. The interest rates are extremely low. That's good for housing.
So you're unconvinced about the U.S. economy. And the reason why I ask you this is one market report I was reading said luxury housing or luxury real estate in the U.S. is growing in double digits as compared to countries like India, where it's growing in the low single digits. So I'm curious, you decide to come to India, you decide to go to many emerging markets. You're in Philippines, you're in South America.
And I'm in New York.
And you're in New York. I understand
Big league.
that. Yeah, I know. But if the housing market's doing so well in the U.S., especially luxury real estate, which you're the king of, then why diversify into other parts of the world?
Right. Well, it's a good question. Well, number one, things happen. All of a sudden, I get the opportunity to come to Mumbai, and I've chosen to do that because the Lota Group is great, and Mumbai is a vibrant city. And frankly, I think the pricing is ridiculously low. So I like that. I mean, I think pricing for housing in Mumbai is going to go skyrocketing. I think it's very low. And I look at other places and I think it's very high. I'd rather be building a building where I think prices are low. I see cities that are not nearly as good as Mumbai, as an example, you know, areas not nearly as good, and their prices on a square foot or square meter basis are much, much higher. So I think there's a great, you know, in India, I think India has a lot of potential for rising prices if people buy housing.
Okay, so my final question to you is this then. You've told me you enter businesses based on passion. You're a man who believes your name is your brand and you build it very, very carefully, and you're building it across the world. We're a stock market channel, so I ask you this. When you invest in stocks or businesses, are there any key essential things that you look for that those businesses or stocks must have besides passion?
Okay, well, passion's always nice, but I don't necessarily believe my name is my brand. I think my quality is. I do quality jobs.
Okay.
I think that, you know, the public is very smart. I can't put the name Trump on something, and if it's not good, everyone's going to buy it, because I don't think it works that way. So I really believe in quality. What I look for, even in stocks, and I've done very well in the stock market, you know, because
I know that.
I've invested
You're
the right
followed
time.
humongously in terms of your stock pick.
I have done unbelievably well. And frankly, I will watch CNBC, and I will see somebody on that I like. I've seen executives on that I like. And one executive was asked a question. They said, "What is your debt?" He looked at him like, "We don't have any debt." He didn't even understand the question because he doesn't have debt. I thought that was great. I bought some of the stock. It went way up. When Facebook went way down, I bought Facebook. It came out at 38, it went to 40, then it went way down to something like ridiculous.
From 25 or 20.
I didn't think you have to be, well, much lower than that. I didn't think you had to be a total genius to do that. I bought a lot of stock when they are low. Now, I don't see a lot of those bargains today. I don't know if the market's going to go up or down or sideways, but I made a lot of investments based on my gut. So a lot of my stock picking is based on looking and watching, whether it's CNBC or other programs of the like, and just have a gut instinct about a company, and also an executive. Sometimes I'll watch television, or I'll have dinner with somebody that I like as an executive, I respect as an executive, I think he's doing a good job, I'll buy some of that stock. And it's done very well for me.
Businesses you like right now, companies you like right now, stocks that are your favorites right now?
Well, I think I like defense companies, if you think about it.
Wow.
The world is blowing up. Somebody's going to make the weapons. It's a sad thing to say, but it's common sense. You look around, I mean, the world is going to hell. And I guess you have to sort of like defense stocks, military stocks, it would just seem to me.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Great job.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
You can't just walk away. You have to compromise. There's no choice.
I always have a choice.